One of the crazy good internet phenomenons of the last years is Andrew Callaghan. I already made several videos about the dude because he's a fucking legend. And he's the guy behind All Gas No Brakes, if that tells anything to you. If it doesn't, shame, because it was really good. Unfortunately, that stuff you shouldn't support All Gas No Brakes because Andrew Callaghan basically got fucked over. Long story, but don't support the channel. It's made by Andrew Callaghan, but he doesn't have the ownership of it. Long story short, he made Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. And it's of course a big success because his material is just outstanding. His interview skills are outstanding, and he kind of spawned a whole new genre of a certain type of internet video where a dude in a suit is going out and doing spontaneous interviews, etc. Today, I want to show you Will Blunderfield, one very new episode from Channel 5. Channel5.news. It's epic shit. If you don't know about it, I don't know. You really should know about it, to be honest with you. It's good shit. It's really good shit. Let's watch it together. So today we have Will Blunderfield, and Will Blunderfield is a male fitness coach, not fitness coach, sexual coach, whatever. Let's just watch it together. It's much better to show than to tell.
I am doubtless, because fear in the present moment is fear, fear in the past is shame, fear in the future is doubt. So when you cup another dude's nuts, you're sending good vibrations, good chi, spiraling up the back, down the front of each testicle.
Oh yeah, baby!
They're your batteries. So when you focus on your testicles, you're literally charging your battery.
They're not your batteries, but in general, actually what the guy says, I can connect to the stuff that he's saying, because a lot of it will be true, but more down the line, of course.
And of course, you're probably the first guy in your family lineage who's doing shit like this, at least for hundreds of years. So of course the shame's gonna come up.
This scene is so fucking epic. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with what they are doing, if needed. So, he's providing a service, in my opinion. You know, that is on demand. No, he's not forcing anyone to come with him into the nature and pet his ballsack. But, again...
Of course the fear is going to come up, and of course the doubt's going to come up. So I always just tell my students, say, what do your balls feel like right now? Smile into that feeling. Really staying grounded in your nuts and your body and your feet. Good. And then you reach for the nuts, and you basically cup the nuts, and you appreciate the nuts. Can you kind of feel the Reiki energy leaving?
They're not really cupping the nuts, though. I don't know, I guess, I'm sure that many times they do cup the nuts properly. And I guess it's an interesting exercise. Never did it. Never touched another man's ballsack like that. Just like in kind of solidaric appreciation, I guess. Not being very sexual or anything like that. It's just okay, I'm a man. You're a man. Cool. I respect you. Sort of a thing like this. I'm imagining that.
Bring my palm chakra into your ball sack. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we take 3 deep breaths through the mouth. And then you say,
I see you, brother.
I see you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And then you give them a hug. Nice. You smell good.
Thanks, man. You smell pretty good, too.
My name is Will Blunderfield. We're in my apartment in Vancouver, Canada, and I teach sexual kung fu. So it's the daily discipline of harnessing and directing your sexual energy from your loins up into the rest of your system rather than constantly just shooting it out like most guys do. Some people are like, well, you're saying that, you should love yourself as you are. Why are you encouraging guys to grow their cocks? But I'm just saying, let your cock and your balls fully exist in the form that they're meant to exist in, beyond the poisoning. The sad truth is that cock size is the smallest it's ever been in recorded history. So my holistic approach is a 3-pillar.
This sounds so stupid, but it isn't. It's actually not stupid, it's true. And the reason for that is simply that people are getting more detached, or gotten more detached from their genitalia. Which is interesting. And of course there's another factor, which is just like body size. If you would ask a doctor, then a doctor would tell you, well, it is connected to body size. A big guy usually has a bigger one than a small guy. But what he's talking about, or what he's referring to, is actually the neglect of our genitalia. And if you're neglecting your genitalia, it will become less proficient, of course, and it's just unhealthy in my view, because I met a lot of people, not a lot of people, but several people that have been in celibate, so they refused to have sex, or tried to refuse to have sex, kind of, by themselves. Yeah, let's watch a little bit more. But what he's saying is not untrue. If the penis size, this, okay, I don't have the numbers, but I can very well imagine it, because it's proven. If you neglect your weenie, then it's going to become smaller and less proficient, of course. That's just a matter of fact. That's why it's good to to do the self-loving thing and all that. It's an important thing.
It's about getting the pesticides and the microplastics out of your body through superfoods and detoxification protocols. Then it's actually sexual.
This, what he's saying now, is partially true, I would say, because you can't completely detoxify yourself. You can try to mitigate detoxification, and you can try that by, as he said, first of all, good food, superfood, and detoxification protocols. I think he means by that eating certain types of detoxifying foods, or foods that are set to detoxify. There are real methods of detoxification, of course, but the best thing is not to get toxified in the first place, which is unfortunately impossible in our age, which is one of the true sad things of what we achieved as humanity. We achieved that we are all intoxicated with microplastics and PFAS and chemicals and also hormone active substances. That's also a real thing. I mean, there are a lot of hormone-active substances that affect our body and also our mind.
Kung Fu techniques, like literally like taking the coconut oil and milking your penis down 50 times, up 50 times, left 50 times.
Okay, this I regard as very desperate, and I think that he genuinely has had maybe some kind of penis dysphoria. I never had that because I'm a really tall guy, and everything is like, evenly spread on my body. Like, I'm not only tall, everything on me is also tall. So I never experienced that feeling. I experienced the opposite all of my life. But I can imagine how hard it must be. He's a small dude. It's very visible. And I think he has some kind of penis dysphoria. And I don't really think that it's so healthy to do that on a massive scale. Of course, like a little bit of this left, right, up, center, down thingy can be okay. But if you overdo that or put the wrong intention into it, namely to grow your fucking penis, I don't think it's working. And if you overdo it, maybe you're damaging something down there. But coconut oil is very healthy in all body areas. Tried and tested and proven.
Times, right 50 times, and straight out 50 times every day. My balls used to be the size of like slightly bigger than an almond, and now they're both the size of like a Brazil nut. And it's great to be able to feel that.
I would go to a doctor if my balls would triple in size, but everybody to their own, I guess.
And it's also great to be able to lengthen the penis. Easiest way to really come into the penis in terms of lengthening it, you literally just make an OK grip and you just pull it down. The penis and the tongue are the outermost extensions of the heart. In classical Chinese medicine, you're just like, Traditionally, you sit naked. My teacher, Montauk Chia, taught me this.
Later on, we're going to talk a lot about screwing technique.
Literally focus your consciousness into your nuts because energy flows where the mind goes. There's also something that my teacher, Troy Casey, taught me. It's called testicle slapping. So you do this for maybe 2 minutes.
I find it so good that those guys are getting paid to do that shit. I really believe that what they're doing has more worth than 80% of all, quote unquote, work in this world. It's so hilarious. But myself, I think, I don't know, like, I would have to get paid to go to a retreat like this, I think, not the opposite way around. Like, people would have to pay me money actually to attend.
Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Mixing the blood and the chi in your balls, increasing your testosterone, which will increase your...
This again, by the way, I feel is like not a bad technique because, our life, again, it's so unnatural. So if you compare, normal living human, for me, a normally healthily living human in its prime condition would be kind of like a jungle dude. A jungle dude that is like swinging through the jungle, is going hunting, is going, collecting stuff and exploring the jungle, and thereby is like super ultimately fit because he's like, climbing, he's running, he's doing that kind of things. And all those exercises move your ballsack around. I'm not even kidding you. So I feel this exercise is maybe really a good exercise to, really get the blood flowing and have some movement on there. Although I think if you're a healthy man, then you don't need to slap your ball sack. But I still like that. I feel it's not the worst technique.
Your manhood, and then you take the energy of nature. Okay, so I don't know why I flushed the toilet, force of habit, but anyway. So this is Shivambu.
Oh my god.
It's good.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, I got in my beard. I eat carrots, organic carrots, because they make me feel good. I drink my piss because it makes me feel good.
Can you tell us what same-sex erotic bonding is?
Yeah, same-sex erotic bonding is when two men or a group of men come together to do things that this culture would say would be like homosexual. For example, two men hugging heart to heart with the cocks touching, breathing, and doing our best to stay in a parasympathetic state.
This, I think, is a fantastic exercise. It would be hard for me because I never did that. And it's exactly breaking those societal norms that, that we are brain fucked by. And it should be normal for two dudes to be naked around each other, first of all. To be completely naked, it should be just normal, because that is normal. That is like the most normal state. The most normal state of a human body is its naked state, of course. And two dudes that are not, like there's nothing going on sexually in between them. They may love each other on a universal level, on a platonic level, but they don't have any sexual feelings with each other, and they should be totally able to just go to themselves and hug themselves. hug each other, and be completely fine with it. It's like, yeah, cool. Because it's a cool thing to hug, right? Hugging is a good thing. Everybody agrees on that. And two guys hugging themselves with their dick out, it should be just the most normal thing in the world, if you ask me. It's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I know what I like, and it's not dick. And if the other guy is on the same page, then there is no problem. The whole thing changes, of course, if this is only one-sided, if there's only one dude who actually sees it as platonic, and the other one is kind of using the whole situation.
State of being rather than going into stress mode.
The first time was definitely really challenging to really be present with actually observing my brother's body and being present with him watching me. The more you do it though, the more you spend time with each other too, the more you can actually just observe and witness the person for everything they've gone through. It's no different than any other part of their body, so why not give them some appreciation, send them some love.
Brother, you've got a beautiful cock.
You got a beautiful cock, baby.
Brother.
Got you.
And then you hug heart to heart because the heart is on the left side of the body with the cocks touching.
When I started hanging out with these guys, and it's not just Will, there's other people in Vancouver who are also engaging in these kind of practices, my assumption was like, oh, they must be gay, oh, they must want something from me. It took a few years to finally build that trust with these guys that, oh, they're not trying to like subtly manipulate me, and maybe they are gay underneath, but they're not acknowledging it.
Whether we call ourselves gay or straight or trans, like we think that these labels make us all so unique, and that
I feel like slight homosexual energy with this guy. I might be wrong, but I had a lot of homosexual friends, and I'm not saying he's homosexual, but I have the feeling that he's not fully heterosexual. But that, again, wouldn't mean necessarily that, for example, this exercise that he just did was non-platonic, you know? Like, he can be as advanced in the brain to not, like... He probably doesn't hit on every guy, even if he is bisexual or homosexual, I guess.
they're so important, when really to me they're just tools that the Matrix uses to divide us and control us. Because I feel like we're so much more than just one little word. But if you're gonna call me something, call me a faggot. And then Facebook censors go off and I'm in Facebook jail now for 30 days. Plus I talk about medical freedom, so it's like a double whammy for me.
Oh my God. The wild naked man denies the existence of viruses, and he just like talks about all this crazy shit that I didn't learn about, and I've been going to med school for 5 generations, okay?
Did you actually read the links that I sent?
Oh my God, just accept that you're gay. You're gay, honey.
The word that I was called most in high school was faggot. And I just love the intensity of that word. And I guess it's like how some black people reappropriate the N-word.
Yeah.
I like to reappropriate the faggot.
So you experienced like a lot of bullying in school and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like people would like draw cocks in my mouth on my student council posters. And I guess they assumed that I was gay because I was a singer. I remember I was living in Manhattan and I was dating this guy. We just, had a great meal and we held each other.
Yeah, I was right, of course. I mean, Sherlock Holmes, right?
There's hands. Right when we got out, it started to rain, and this guy takes out a switchblade and he's like, "You fucking faggots, I'm gonna get you." And like we ran, and it just like showed me that there still is a lot of like triggering that can happen when 2 men or 2 women are showing love.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I definitely have same-sex attraction, and it's interesting when I do things like detox from glyphosate and atrazine, I start to feel an increase in a procreative urge. The testes tingle around beautiful women, whereas before they were completely, I was cut off from them. The more I retain my seed, the more I eat well, the more I do same-sex erotic bonding, the more pussy I want to eat. So that's what I'm interested in. How can we use same-sex erotic bonding, superfood nutrition, detoxification to enhance male potency so that men can feel more juicy and primal and wild? Lingam means pillar of light in Sanskrit. The cock, the ears are really great places to massage because they've got so many nerve endings in them that relate to the entire body. So in my classes, we get naked and we literally massage our cocks together. And this is called penis reflexology. This is a diagram in terms of penis reflexology. It's a little bit blurry. So basically we massage each other's heart meridians to help release self-hatred while cuddling and watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was just so beautiful. And this is what my Celtic ancestors did. They would also suck each other's nipples and share each other's beds before battle. If you do some more digging, Spartans were actually doing same-sex erotic bonding. They believed if you ingested the semen of a big strong man, that you would become a big strong man. And they still do that in tribes that have not yet been contacted by the West. In Papua New Guinea, for example, they actually have to suck as much cock as they can before they hit the age of 20 or 21, and then they can marry a woman. Just to get as much sperm into their bodies as they can, because they believe it, like, it's got testosterone in it too, that they are like increasing their manhood. My testicles attract girls from all over the world.
My testicle attract humans from all around the world.
My balls produce massive amounts of testosterone.
My balls produce massive amounts of testosterone.
My testicles are an engine of alpha growth.
My testicles are an engine of alpha.
Oh my god. I want to sample that shit. Fuck. God damn it. Andrew fucking Callaghan is such an enormous genius. And you don't even see him in this video. That much. Except from the beginning until now.
Alpha growth.
Beautiful. So for most of my...
And I love that about him. That's his superpower, is just to do exactly what he's doing there. He's just standing there and, you know, giving air to the person that he's interviewing in a way very few interviewers managed ever in human existence. It's the truth.
My life, I couldn't feel my balls. Now that I do this ritual regularly, I can actually feel the sperm being produced in my balls, and I feel so much more grounded. I couldn't feel my cock and balls unless I was fully erect. And even when I was fully erect, I couldn't even really feel my nuts. I felt just like there was nothing there. Also, I was sexually abused by a doctor when I was 4, so it was a combination of like a chemical, almost like a chemical castration plus the shaming of the abuse. So the sexual kung fu lineage has literally helped me like feel my balls again, mix the blood and the chi in my nuts. People always say, Will, can I really grow my penis? And I say, yeah, just fucking pull on it.
I witnessed his cock change for sure. Like his cock's gotten bigger.
It was probably flaccid, maybe 2-3 inches. And then erect, it was maybe 5 inches. Now, it's usually about 3 to 4 inches flaccid, and erect, it goes to about 6, just over 6 inches.
So many dudes that I work with and that I've chatted with, actually I'd say every dude is worried about, is their dick gonna be perceived as small? This like fear of like, oh my God, if I show my dick. And this work has helped me to feel like I don't really care about what someone thinks of my dick. I'm just like, this is my dick.
None of you guys have super small dicks.
Thanks.
None of you guys have.
The changes I've noticed in my own genitals, not just localized to that area, it's more so their interconnection to the rest of my body. If I'm engaging in sex with somebody, I'm not just focused on this little, as Will would say, a bubble of awareness in that area. It seems to have coalesced back into a full system where if I'm receiving a hug, for example, my whole body's involved usually, except for my genitals. I seem to be unaware of that. Even in those moments now, my full body's back online. I'm not so much emotionally castrated from one area or not. A full revival of the intrinsic system.
And this is great to do like in a circle with a bunch of naked men, because we communicate subtly through the pelvic consciousness. I call it the testiculum. Kind of like the mycelium network in the forest. The mushroom is the cock, and the mycelium are the testicles. So it's like, let them fill with this yang chi, with this yang prana, and exhale, appreciate it, right? Because gratitude is the highest form of yoga. So you're basically blessing your nuts for the upliftment of all of humanity, and you're increasing the frequency of the mini brain of your gonads by smiling and growling into them. And you can do this when you're having sex with a woman. You can thrust, if you're about to ejaculate and you don't want to ejaculate, growl into your balls. It's so powerful. You go, and literally you can feel some of the energy will leave your system and come into your body instead. and she'll probably be more wet because of it, because women like to be ravished. I went to musical theater school. I was actually in Canadian Idol. I made it pretty far. They kicked me off for being too theatrical. To fast forward throughout the ages, throughout the last 15 years, I was teaching what we would call like hatha yoga, like stretchy stretch yoga. And it was great, but it felt like there was something missing. I started to get into other modalities. I was like, I need more. And also I got it.
I did a little bit of yoga myself with a very, very good yoga teacher, a girl that I have spent 10 days with. And she teach me 2 different kinds of yoga. There are actually more kinds than just hatha yoga, it's true. Like, that's the very common thing that gets taught in the West is hatha. And it's just one aspect of yoga. There are many, many different schools of yoga, like Iyengar, which the girl that I was with taught me a little bit about. Because it's not only for healthy people. So hatha is mostly designed for actually healthy humans to stay healthy. And then Iyengar is, for example, designed to also help and treat people that have real problems. Very interesting. I find it super, super interesting. Would love to do more of that. But I really liked the way that I did it. I didn't went to a yoga school or something. I met a person who was a yoga teacher and spent time with this person. And we used our time together for teaching and learning.
Addicted to cocaine. So I stopped doing that and I started to look for other ways to get high. Drinking my piss gets me kind of high. I don't.
Oh, this. Oof. Very. Like, I get it. Okay, might be that it's healthy and all, but very hard. It would be extremely hard for me. I never drank my piss also, not planning to do it. Would I in a worst case scenario? Probably, but yeah, that's a tough one for me.
I don't know how it works. Doing breath work. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Squeeze the anus, sex organ, navel. Shunt the energy up your spine into your pineal. Exhale, keep the energy in your body, round forward, suck your abs in. Shunting all this creative energy into the rest of your system. Inhale. High on your own supply, baby.
Cash App, the easy way to pay a male yogi to take you into the forest for an afternoon of
connecting to Mother Earth.
I think he is quite in tune with himself. You could see his control over his body. There for a second when he did that thing with his belly. That shows that he's not only a talker. He isn't only a guy who is talking crazy shit. He's actually going in the woods, working with his body. So that is respectable in my opinion. Although he's a crazy dude.
A lot of yogic lineages that are really popular these days, like Kundalini, is all about connecting to the third eye, into heaven, into other dimensions. But the thing I love about rewilding and sex kung fu, it's about connecting to your balls, your cock, your tribe, and Mother Earth. It's about coming back into that wild state. Instead of being a chihuahua, coming back into that wild wolf state.
This is your body. There's no reason for us to not have access to being free at all times within reason. I think the apprehension that people have in wanting to create a set of rules around that is that so many people have unhealthy associations to their sexuality that they are a danger, hence creating these strong boundaries in society. In order to get to a place where you can free the nipple and free the rectum completely, you also have to look at, the shadowy, shitty part of people that would want to take advantage of that or are only doing it as this means of getting away with something.
That guy is actually smart, I have to say. he's not a dummy. What he's saying makes a lot of sense.
You know, I want to show my genitals to people because there's something unresolved there, as opposed to these are my genitals. It's fucking it. No big deal.
Semen retention.
Yeah, that reminds me also on my experiences in San Francisco. I was sitting with two beautiful Swedish girls in a bar in Mission District, and then one of them said to me, "Hey Sam, turn around, but do it, like do it stealthily." And I turned around, and there was a guy sitting in one of the, how's it called, alcoves? I don't know, one of the parts of the bar with a bunch of people in a circle, basically, and he was just like casually having drinks, but he was completely naked. And in San Francisco, you sometimes see old homosexual couples going out on the street completely naked because it is legal in San Francisco to do so. There is no punishment by law for being naked on the streets. I hope that it's still the case because I think it's fantastic, although it gets mostly used by a certain type of people. But still, I think it's cool.
So that doesn't mean you never ejaculate. It means that you increase the time between ejaculating. I mean, if we think about it, a whole new baby can be created from an ejaculation. So if we're just constantly ejaculating, we're kind of wasting our life force. So I teach them how to separate orgasm from ejaculation, so then they can choose when they want to come, ejaculate, or shunt that energy upwards.
So when's the last time that you ejaculated?
Last night.
What?
Yeah, I can actually show you. This is pretty intense. So me and my buddy Brian did a new moon ejaculation ritual. We wrote what we wanted to let go of, and we ejaculated onto it. So it was actually very powerful, and then we let it dry. That's his. His is a bit more intense.
With the recent ejaculation
That stuff was like a weird color for ejaculate.
ceremony we did, my intention was to purge certain energies or certain narratives. Then we do some sex kung fu, so testicular breathing, and then we draw up some of that energy as we're stimulating ourselves, as we're exciting ourselves, so that all the sexual energy doesn't get poured out of the ejaculate. And then eventually we bring ourselves to full ejaculation, and then later we'll burn that paper.
So we're letting go of shame, caring about what other people think, overthinking. I think my comfort zone is shame. So leaving the comfort zone is coming to joy. But it's like, do I deserve to feel so good and so juicy? Because I felt so bad for so long.
And what I really want to say is that gay panic has been brainwashed into all of our psyches because these types of activities release high amounts of testosterone. They lower competition and comparison. It's a sense of de-armoring. There's far too much competition between men. And if the world's male leaders did this work together, I believe there'd be a lot more peace and camaraderie. Yeah.
I feel that I agree with the guy. I think world leaders should be mandatory for world leaders to do a session with this dude in the woods.
Yeah.
Secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah.
That guy can really sing. He's actually hitting notes there.
It's not a cry that you hear at night. Oh, it's not someone who claims to have seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Sing with me. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Okay, it's just so wholesome. So what I love also about Andrew Callaghan, it's not a joke show. This is like serious documentation, the work that he has done. I'm super proud that I discovered the guy before mainstream discovered the guy, because really, literally, I think I did my first video or stream or mentioned him about maybe 3 or 4 months before Vice News picked up on him. I'm kind of proud on that fact for some reason, because I really like his work, and this video is just another case of fantastic documentary work. And you need to watch more if you do not know Channel 5 News. It's the best show on YouTube at the moment. One of the best shows on YouTube at the moment, by one of the most genuine and cool and talented filmmakers slash interviewers that exist on the planet.
Everybody sing with me.
So amazing, so inspiring, just super amazing.
I am shameless.
5 Live Tour.
Oh, I want to see this. Yeah. It's utterly inspiring what this man does. It's like, he's one of the biggest inspirations to me, biggest inspiratory people.
What you just saw was a surprise performance from Will at our first ever Channel 5 live show in Toronto about 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, we're going on a 43-city national Channel 5 live tour. Milwaukee, Madison, Phoenix, Denver, Philly, New York, Hamden, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, Orlando, Austin. I can keep it going, it's crazy. At these shows, we're gonna screen scenes from a movie you guys have never seen. We're also gonna hire battle rappers and magicians via Craigslist to open each act. And we're gonna bring out special characters from the Channel 5 universe for surprise performances. It's gonna be a great time, and if you wanna buy tickets to any of these dates, go to channel5.news/pages/C5-live-tour, or you can just click the link in the description below. Hope to see you guys there.
Fantastic. I would really love to one day see this person in the flesh. That video was fantastic. I think it's really eye-opening for a lot of people. And the work that Andrew is doing is tremendous. There is nothing much more to say there. And good guy. Crazy guy, but good guy. Very good guy. This whole video is inspiring, and it inspired me to think about certain things that are important. That's about it, guys. I see you.